It is very nice.
Watch out for that car. Ditch. In fact, I like hit better than ditch.
Hitch is better than ditch?
No, the hit, yeah.
Hit is better than ditch.
Yeah.
Really? Better than ditch?
Yeah, I like the flavor more.
Hey everyone, my name is Zach and I'm a 22-year-old competitive boulderer from Canada, currently living near Frankfurt, Germany. Welcome back to the COMPCLIMB training series, where I record all of my training, provide in-depth analysis of every session, and just chat about climbing with an emphasis on competition. If you enjoy the series, feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out a ton. So we're back from rest week. I had a 6-day rest week, and I went with Maddie to Switzerland to watch her compete in the World Championships. And so that was a lot of fun. Switzerland was really cool. I haven't been there in a while. And this was like the first rest week I've had in a long time that I kind of like earned. A lot of my rest periods in recent times have been kind of impromptu, like due to injury or due to just like needing a break from training mentally. So this was nice to have like a nice solid rest week that was scheduled in the program that I actually needed. And yeah, it was really nice to just recover. And so now we're back and we have 2 short bouldering sessions on the schedule for today, just to kind of ease the body back into training. Anytime I take a rest week that's over kind of like 4 days, that's my threshold. I'll definitely need to have like a day of like a cushion day where I just kind of ease my body back into training. So we're not even going to do 2 days on in a row. We're just going to do 1 day on, 1 day off, and then resume kind of our 2 on, 1 off. And so yeah, today is just 2 short sessions of bouldering, both 45 minutes. And so obviously we haven't been here in like 6 days, so we got a couple new sets too at Studio Block, which is really fun. You can see I'm working this new 6, and I was really struggling with it. Overhead press moves are typically a weakness of mine, and so I was really struggling to match that finish hold. I don't know if I was necessarily doing it the right way. I know now that I wasn't doing it the right way, but at the time, the way I was doing it, where you have the kind of your right hand up and then you have to snake your other hand around to match the finish, it definitely felt wrong. Maybe I want to kind of match it out of this position is what I was thinking, but at the time it didn't feel super good. But I ended up trying it in the next session and it goes a bit better. So after that 6, we will move on to a new 7. This one is honestly probably the softest 7 in the gym for me. This one was like quite easy to do today. It's like really my style with these pinches. It was easy to do today, and like that's kind of saying something because I was definitely feeling quite shaky in this morning session. My fingers felt pretty weak and like not like warm, and just like feeling like I could apply a bunch of pressure, and it's evident by this boulder here. I was kind of going back and forth on whether or not I should try this one. You can see it's got this pretty intense foot cut on these 2 edges, and I'm like shaking my hands after I fall off. I probably shouldn't have tried it again, but I just wanted to make sure that my fingers were really not feeling super good today, and it was the case. It hurt even more on this attempt. I like just that one, my first try cutting feet on that move, like zapped my fingers, and then it was like kind of just got exponentially worse, even just after on that second try. Anyway, yeah, my fingers always kind of feel like this after a rest week, and so I kind of got a little bit ahead of myself. Like normally when I have like kind of this cushion day of training, I usually will try to get like a lot of volume in and do like a lot of different styles of bouldering to get the body like kind of warm again and ready to train. So what I was supposed to do today on the schedule is I should have just kind of done a bunch of 6s that I haven't tried and done a bunch of moderates. Maybe I fall like, a couple times on each boulder and just kind of, just get like a bunch of volume in. But there were like a couple of cool new looking 7s, and me just not being able to control myself, I had to get on the cool new 7s, and thankfully the black one wasn't too bad, but yeah, that blue one I shouldn't have tried. And then that white one is honestly, the white one that we started on was honestly probably like a 7 for me, but I'm sure people who are just kind of good at that overhead pressing moves will probably find the ending of that really easily, and probably make it into a 6. The setters are usually really good here at hitting the grades, so I trust their judgment. So yeah, now we're moving on to this boulder here. This is a 7 that we tried briefly on the session where we had like just 2 7s left in the gym. This is one of them. I only had like 10 minutes left in the session when I tried this before, and I was really tired. And this boulder is not something that you just kind of walk up to the finish at the end of your session. This boulder is heinous. It's like I was avoiding it for so long. It's been up for like a while now, and it took me like 2 weeks to work up the courage to get on this boulder. Like, it's just a sufferfest. You got these terrible footholds that you have to stand on, terrible cramps. So this was like my first session, like working it properly. And I've tried like to start a few times now, and I can't do it for the life of me. Like you have these kind of 2 cramps here, and I was kind of messing around with using the next hold. It's kind of like a thumb press, but matching the foot on that start volume is just crazy. I don't know how I'm going to do that. So I just kind of spent today like working on the ending of this boulder, which is also like super heinous. Took me a little bit of time to figure out the sequence in the middle here, where there's like a foothold in the lower volume, but it was like super bad and I didn't know how to use it. So I ended up doing this foot match on the better foothold higher. And then you do a hand foot match on this really small, sharp, terrible crimp. And then you have to stand up into this press, and then the left foot that you're on is like super bad. It's super slopey, and I can't trust it at all. It feels like it's gonna slip at any second. So I'm kind of just like trying to rely more on my hands and do like this hand flip at the end. But it actually kind of worked out well today. Even though my fingers are hurting, you'd think that I wouldn't be able to get on this boulder because it's got a lot of crimps. But a lot of the weight's in your feet, and the crimps are kind of just more for stability, so I don't have to crimp them super hard, which was nice. And actually I had like my skin was pretty thick, like my fingertips, because I hadn't climbed in about a week. So it actually was kind of this nice protection for these like razor crimps. It was like almost like I had a layer of antihydral on. So I took advantage of these conditions, and I was able to like work this boulder pretty well. So like, yeah, this was kind of this boulder was kind of made for my morning session today perfectly. I didn't have enough energy to try super physical boulders, but I was able to, just do like this technical boulder, get the body warmed up again for the next session. We're back for session 2. In the morning session, I felt pretty terrible. I kind of expected it. But I wasn't able to grab holds super hard. I kind of had to spend most of my time on the slab, like not using my grip strength a lot, just kind of using like the body and getting it warm. And so yeah, it was like old Zach would kind of be like stressed out about that. But after I've been training double sessions for years and years now, I know that it's crazy how at least my body works. Like I can like just flip the coin like to the other side for the second session of the day, and I know that I can go from feeling like absolute garbage in the morning session to feeling like really good in the second session. And that's okay. I didn't feel really good in the session, but I felt much better in the morning. Yeah, it's crazy, and that's actually why I like doing double sessions a lot, is because it kind of increases my odds to have like a really strong feeling session. Because if I like have a super bad session in the morning, and then like let's say I was only doing a single session and I had to like do an hour and a half of bouldering, that whole session would kind of be bad just because my muscles aren't like warmed up properly, or they're feeling stiff, or I'm feeling weak. But if I cut that, what would be a single session in half, and then I rest for like 3 or 4 hours, all of a sudden the last half of that session, because I'm doing it as a second session later in the day, I'll feel super good. And that's like an advantage of double sessions. It kind of increases your odds to have strong feeling sessions. And let's say my morning session, I feel super strong and it goes super well. Sometimes I might just kind of combine my second session of the day and take advantage of the way my body's feeling. So yeah, it worked out well. Like the morning session, I felt really bad. And then when I was warming up for this session, I felt a lot stronger. And I knew that I was going to be able to get out some more physical boulders, and that the rest of the week didn't mess me up too much. So that's why we're hopping back on this boulder, this new 7. I couldn't really try in the morning, but now we're back on it. And check out this move here. This move is super cool. This was a lot of fun. Like whoever set this boulder, like set like a really awesome boulder. I really like this. You got this swing move on these crimps, and this edge that you're hitting is like very slopey, so you have to hit the foot at the same time. and then you go to this crimp that's like super blocked. It's like barely got like a space of one finger to kind of crimp, but it's just enough to pull you into a mantle. And then you go to this Gaston crimp here that's like also pretty blocked, but less so than the undercling. So yeah, it's just enough to stand up to this next hold, which is just a one finger pocket, super bad. So what I'm doing is I'm like kind of putting my pointer finger in and then crimping my middle finger on top, just to give me enough pull to do this like super low percentage last move, do another slot. But man, that is a good boulder. Like I just, this studio block, oh my goodness, I love you. Whoever set that boulder, if you're watching this video, thank you for being a great setter. That was a lot of fun. Super creative, like that's just the case here in this gym. Super creative boulders all the time. And so after starting on this white boulder for a few attempts at the beginning of the session, I wanted to kind of hop on the blue boulder while I was feeling super fresh, so I stopped and I just went and did the blue boulder. It looked like I could do it like pretty fast. I know that what the holds felt like, and it looked like my style. Proved to be the case. So I can't come back to trying this boulder because it is a weakness of mine, and I definitely need to like practice this move and just drill it into my body, kind of like learn what positions work well for like these overhead press moves. And I actually found that I was learning a lot while I was working this boulder. I ended up trying a lot of times, all from the ground, like probably 15 times total today. And you saw that I just climbed up to try the ending, and I found what is probably intended beta a lot easier way to match this finish hold. I end up going to these two Gastons, and that allows me to like put my feet in the perfect position, like nice and square. And then here's an epiphany I kind of had today. I learned like a new little technique from my toolkit for this last move. What I realized when I'm trying to match this finish is it felt like impossible until I noticed something. As soon as my chin went above the lip of the hold that I was pressing on, that kind of was the instance where I felt like locked in and I could bring the other hand in. So that's like, now I got like another little tool for my toolkit. If I'm on that sort of like overhead press where I need to match the hold, gotta bring my chin up, like you're doing a chin up. So that was a lot of fun. It was good that I worked that boulder for a lot because I learned something. So yeah, I was able to do that 6 after a whole bunch of tries today. It ended up being the hardest boulder for me in the day. And then for the rest of the session, I kind of just did what I should have done in the morning session, just try a bunch of 6s that I haven't tried yet, some moderates, and try to get some sounding in. And so we're doing this blue 6 on the comp wall, the last boulder on the comp wall that I haven't tried yet. Took me a couple tries to do the first move here. Funky little dyno at the beginning, and then a cool sequence in the middle. And I was actually, here's a fun thought that I was thinking of today as well. On that white boulder, on that white 6 with the overhead press, like sometimes, you know, I've been thinking about, because oftentimes in training, what I do is I kind of give like half-assed attempts sometimes to kind of suss out a boulder, to kind of conserve my energy for the session, and they end up being like low-quality attempts. And then when I kind of have enough information, I'll give like really good like send attempts. And like, let's say I'm doing like a mock comp or I'm trying to do some on-site training. This isn't the case. Like I won't do that. I'll obviously try to send the boulder every time. But like in just a regular boulder session like this, you know, I'll mess around and kind of suss out the boulder first. And honestly, I was thinking maybe sometimes falling on boulders and just kind of giving half-assed attempts and doing like what can be the wrong beta sometimes, like I was doing on the end of that 6 with the press, I think it can actually show you why correct beta makes more sense. It's like, obviously when I found the beta on to match the finish, it worked really well, but it just also like reaffirmed like you're not supposed to do stupid stuff like press like way above your head like this and reach your arm around. Like maybe it's a bit of like an abstract idea, but I was just thinking about it today. It's like maybe falling can actually help you, help your like learning process for beta and kind of movement, like for your toolkit. I don't know, it was just something fun I was thinking about. But yeah, I finished off the session with some 6s, and then that was the day of training. So tomorrow's a rest day. We're just doing 1 day on, 1 day off, and then we'll be able to resume our kind of 2 on, 1 off training routine and go into this next bit of training, which is kind of like half bouldering, half spray wall. So it'll be a lot of fun. Tune in.